So the app is a location-based social network game. Now, location-based means that it picks up people in your neighborhood. So, because this is going to be a game where you actually interact with the people physically, so it picks up people within the neighborhood. All the players that are in the neighborhood, you could choose from those players. Now, that's location-based. It's a social network because it's a lot about experiences of people, and that's interactions of people with each other. And it's a game. Now, the object of the game, the goal of the game, is to be involved in more and more interesting, in the most interesting stories that the game has. Let me explain how the app, what's the physical manifestation sort of the app. The app is, as I said, is where I could see, like sort of see floating around, let's say graphically speaking, like sort of on the screen, avatars of people, players, and I could choose any player that I want to check. I don't know, avatar, you don't see anything, but you click on it and opens up their profile. Now their profile is populated by experiences that they shared with someone else, and where that other person documented, but documented is not the right word, it's more like storytelling. Story told their shared experiences and put it, and it goes into that person's profile. So now I have a profile where I see a lot of experiences, a lot of where people write how they experienced with this person together. They write it not in a way of a review. They write it in a way to create it's a production. It's like they're creating the movie. They're creating something, and we'll see that they're very incentivized to do that. So again, my profile is populated by these experiences that other people incentivized to write well, accurately, deeply, interestingly about our experience. And that's what I have when people open up my profile. So the guy sees a story, let's say my experience with the musicians, and he wants to, and he says, I want to have an interview. He thinks of that next step. So he wants to continue that experience. He wants to add to that experience. Like, it's something that he would never, ever be able to do just like that, because you have to build on something, and how does he build on what? But here, he opens up my profile, sees that experience, because we could call it that I gave the musicians or the musicians gave me. It depends how it works, the experience, how we set it up, but it doesn't make a difference. But there was an experience here, a beautiful experience, and now someone else wants to add on it and go to the next step, create the next step, the next part, next chapter of the story. So that's what happens when I open a profile and I see this. I have all of a sudden all different experiences that it's like a candy store where I can decide this is where I want to go further with. This is where I want to collaborate and create the next chapter. And so I am building on top of existing experience, which could actually be already 5 experiences, one after the other, just like what's going to happen here, which is that person offers me an experience because they saw my profile. And I as the rules of the game are, if I accept the experience because I look at that person's profile and I see what that person's all about, and if that person plays well in this game, is a good player, valuable player, I'm interested in connecting with him. That's the advantage of being a valuable player. So if he's a valuable player, which we'll see what makes a player valuable, but if he's a valuable player, I'm interested in accepting that offer. Now, that person made that offer because they figured they're going to enjoy that experience with me. They saw different profiles, different experiences of myself, how people relate to that, how people enjoy me and stuff. So right away, we're in a good shape, and we both communicate. Like, obviously, he doesn't tell me exactly what he wants to do the next experience. Doesn't have to say, you know, there's an element of surprise if he wants to or if not. But anyways, we meet. We have this experience where he interviews me about the musicians, what made me do the party, and you know, he creates that kind of scene because maybe the musicians are not here, because if he does the experience with me, or he sees the musician's profile, their experience, and he takes it from there, and he has them come to him and offers them an experience. Now, so, but going back to our reality, our simple story, where a guy sees my profile and wants to connect, continue the story, and offers me an experience. The rules of the game are, I'm going to be writing it down, concretizing it, taking the experience, and giving my feelings about it, my emotions, my ideas, whatever, bringing it out whichever way I want, through video, audio, text, storytelling, singing, poems, what have you. But creating a nice chapter that other people are going to want to continue that, because if I will create nice chapters, other people will see my profile that I create nice storytelling, and they'll offer me experiences. That will be a very important element in considering me if I'm a good player, is if I storytell well. The more honest or real or interesting or creative or whatever I am in the storytelling, I bring out the experience. I bring out, I bring out how, you know, I bring out how I experience it with the other party, because if someone's going to offer me an experience, they want that in their profile there should be storytelling about them, not only about me. So it becomes, I'm incentivized to make sure that it's good for the other party, because then other people will want to offer me experiences, seeing that I deliver a nice product, a good story, which goes to that person's profile. Now, that's the incentive for me to do a good story, to write a good. And now, there's also another element that makes a player a good player. If he offers good experiences, meaning if I offer an experience to you, you look at my profile and you see if other people write about me, that I create amazing experiences, and you see what I'm doing, and you see, wow, okay, I'm assuming he knows he'll make a good job here too. I don't have to know every detail, and I don't have to, it's not trust, I can see what's happening. So in other words, a good player in this game has two things. He or she has to be creative. I mean, to whatever level they're creative, that's the level people will appreciate that creativity and want to connect on that level. But whatever level creativity they are, that's what they'll get back, but better, because it's already a build up. And whatever level of creativity, and so how good you offer an experience, what your creative mind is, and how good you storytell, how good you give it over, how sincere and how real and how exciting, and so on. So that's these two elements. If you're a good player, you have these two elements, people will always accept your offers for experiences. So you always find the experiences that you love, that you choose. You have freedom on that. And people offer you experiences because they see that you know how to write well, you know how to storytell well. It's not writing, it's storytelling, it's relating actions, words, dancing, whatever, you know, comedy, whatever, but giving over the experience in a way that people want to continue the story. And sometimes there would be, I would open up a profile of a person and I would see stories and I would say, look, I like the stories, but I would like to create a new story. I want to start something. I want to see how that story is going to evolve and continue next chapter with different people, how they're going to create it. I want to open up that venue and let it flow. That's another element. So some people are just going to see some profiles and say, okay, I want with you, but I'm not continuing a story. I'm opening up a new story. That's also an option. But in any event, what happens is, after all this talk, the simple process is, I offer an experience, we meet, we have aligned intentions, both of us are interested in creating the best experiences, that both parties should have a good experience. The offer of the experience wants the storyteller to enjoy the experience, because if he doesn't enjoy it, he's not going to write it well. He's going to write how he felt. So and the storyteller wants to offer to enjoy, so he should be able to write a nice story about it. So it's a shared incentive. So all of a sudden, they're both fully aligned into each other, to see each other, to give each other and to enjoy each other's experience together. Now, that is what creates newness. Two people into each other, connected, like the kiss, where they're all aligned, they're focused onto each other, because there's this platform creates this reality where in this experience we both want to make sure that the other part, we want to understand the other part, the storyteller wants to understand, because that's how he's going to write it, and the author wants to make sure that the storyteller gets the experience, because that's what's going to stay, what's going to remain. So it's all involved very deeply into each other. That's what creates the mix, the newness, because that's our problem till now. The way we experience is when our goals are not aligned, so it doesn't become the perfect setup where there's newness. And that's step number one. Now, once that happens, it becomes a story in my profile, and as I explained, that's how you create a song. That's how you have more creativity, you have newness the whole time. You have the pleasures of life, the experience. So it's a beautiful, beautiful app. Amazing. It's going to change everything. Now, this part is the beauty in it being something so much fun, and it creates pleasure, which is so important, which is what we're all about. Now, but it's much more than that, because we could really experience everything within that context. We could really create all our endeavors that we call today work. Really doesn't have to be that way. Meaning, we do work because we have to get the money and create the energy and exchange money for it or whatever, but we have to create the energy. We have to, and that's how we survive, by creating energy and sharing it with other people, who in turn share with us their energy. So in the end, it's about sharing energy with other people, and here it's simply done in a much more productive way, where it brings beautiful results, meaning that every work really doesn't have to be the way it's set up now, where a person goes 9 to 5 and everything is it's horrible. It's like life is drudgery. It's just working and working and not enjoying anything. Most of the day not enjoying, but in this app, you could put in all kinds of experiences within it. Meaning, like I was talking to a friend, and actually the designer of and the party planner of the party that I made and of this place actually, Saul and Company, Shulam. So I was telling him about the app. He said, he said it himself, I would see a real good chef. I would be willing to work for him for an event, for a weekend, for an event, whatever, just to be able to work with him, to have that experience. So this just gives us a glimpse that experiences, good experiences, aren't necessarily where typically we don't call it work, we don't call it productive. It could be very productive and it could be work, but it's fun, it's an experience. Like, when people build festivals, they build structures and everything, it's fun, it's work, but it's an experience, it's creative, it's fun. So people used to do, I think barnstorming is where they would get together, a whole clan, a whole community, or a whole family, extended family, and in a weekend, an extended weekend or a few weekends, build a house, build a barn for someone. And it was fun with dancing, with singing. Things could be, it just has to be the right platform for it. Where when someone offers me an experience, I say, throw in, let's do it in a meal fashion, because, how about you cook something, if that could work, if I look for that, because I want to have a nice meal today. And that's, again, a little example. It could work logically, it works with everything. Every endeavor. So, and the proof is going to be in the pudding. Because this app, developing this app that's a game changer, that's going to change, not only because it's going to give unbelievable amounts of pleasure, but it's going to be a game changer because we could put everything in there, and every experience that I do is going to be in that setup where it's going to bring me the results. The more I give, the more experiences I have, the more creative I have experiences, the better experiences I have, I'm rewarded for it. The better I have an experience in this app, and that person obviously story tells it well, the better offers I get, because people want to connect to me and to that story. So it's like, you're being rewarded for having pleasure by having more pleasure. And money is not important anymore. If we could create all our needs and all our creative endeavors could go through the app, then that's all we need. Now, you would ask, but how would someone create an iPhone? How would any endeavor happen? Like, I offer an experience, like what? How does that happen? Like, how's it gonna happen? So I would say, let's use our very developing of this app as an example, as the proof is in the pudding thing. Because here's the deal. Think about it. Talking to you. Sit down for a minute and think. Think about this app. Is it the most amazing app, the most amazing invention ever possible? the logic is there. We're creating opportunity to create experiences, newness, pleasure. We're creating an opportunity to build on it. We're creating an opportunity that everything where you offer experience, you create experiences, the more you create freely, the more you get back. We create a reality where you see in your profile all beautiful stuff about yourself, and it's truth, because if it's lies, people are not going to connect, they see through it. The more real people, so you'll get a different, however real you are, that's the level you get. And it does it with everything. So, do you want to be part of this experience of being part of changing the world? Changing the world. That's what it is. Now, let's assume for a minute that you understand it. You see, it's not. It's an amazing, amazing situation. This is going to change the world. So you want to be part of it, right? So it's like, even before the app, I'm like jump-starting the app, because I'm saying, okay, I'm offering you guys an experience. You guys, I'm talking everybody, but specifically top-notch developers, graphic designers for the app. So I'm going to do something really exciting. The app in itself is not a complicated development, but we just need to have it done, the best way possible. And people who are good in creating, parties, because this is all about fun and happiness, and the way to generate everything is through enjoyment and fun, pleasure. So anybody who's capable of that, let's create this by you all, us all, being part of this experience, of the ultimate experience of being the people who are changing the world. I'm saying this if you understand it. Like, I understand it. I understand that it's a game changer. Whoever understands it, obviously, who wouldn't want to be part of this? So, let's build this app. And see, I have on this channel other things about beautiful, beautiful concepts. But this here is a simple reality. Think about it again. It's simple basics. It's not wishful thinking. It's not hopeful, and everything, which they're all good and great. And, I showed something beautiful about letters and stuff. It's beautiful. It's very, very, revelatory. It's like amazing. But how do I cash it? Someone asks, where does it get me? It gets you beautiful places, but the question is there. So here, it's simple process, a simple app, and it's out there. Now, why would I say it? Apps, secret NDAs and all this stuff. I don't think here, first of all, in the big picture, I see it as going outside of money, obviously. Money is not going to be, it's going to be obsolete. It sounds like, wow, how big, how dare you even think that level? But why not? It's a different pattern that creates, and we can throw in all experiences and all endeavors, just like I want to do this endeavor through this experience where you will get be written down in the app as the most interesting experience possible, and you can build on that. People will try to build on that, so it won't have maybe the advantage, all the details of the way the app is set up, because that's why we need the app, but it's the opportunity to be part of the creators of this amazing, people, the original creators of Facebook, whatever. I mean, what's Facebook? A money-making machine, in the end. But here, it's a game changer. So come and join. info at, just put in the comments actually, you want to join or anything, and I will put an email address for stuff, but just connect. Let's make this happen. This is real. This is, the world is a very tough place right now. We don't have the way to set it up now. There's a, I'm reminding myself, there's this a famous Jewish tradition or Jewish sort of story, metaphorical story, that this person died and came up to heaven, and he before they judged him or whatever, he said he wants to take a look at heaven and hell and to see what's what, which direction he wants to push for. So they gave him a tour, so to speak. So he goes into hell first, and he sees amazingly prepared food, delicious aromas, and piping hot food and everything. But there's one problem: the people are somehow connected to their spoon. They can't get rid of the spoon, and they can only eat with the spoon. And the spoon is long from here, 5 feet. So they're like picking up and food 5 feet away and throwing it, trying to catch it with their mouth, and it's disaster. They're struggling, suffering, surviving on the minimal, and so on. Goes into the next place, heaven. Same thing. Scrumptious food, piping hot, and the same large, long spoons, 5 feet spoons. But here's what in heaven the difference is: they're feeding each other. They figured out a solution. They're feeding each other. The app. That's the traditional story, a famous story. That by creating a world where you're connecting with each other, because you see, do unto others, like love thy neighbor as thyself, which is, according to Hillel, all of the Torah. That's the essence, and the rest is commentary of how to make it happen. Now, one way loving the neighbor as the self creates harmony, creates peace, but there's another level. It creates actually pleasure. Love is pleasure, because connection is pleasure, and it creates so this app is where we are creating, where all our experiences, bar none, all our creativity, all our creative endeavors, all our enterprises, everything could go through this app, where every step is pleasure, just building on pleasure. And the more pleasure you get, the more pleasure you give yourself, you create for yourself, the more pleasure you get. So it's a beautiful app. Let's make it happen.